Surprise. We're gonna start early. There's still 90 seconds on the clock, and I'm like, no. We're starting now. The reason for starting to... Oh my god. Do you have the thing?
Yeah.
Can I have the thing? Oh my god.
I was just going to use it.
I tried to make it better with my shirt. It doesn't. It never works.
No, it never does.
Okay. I'm telling you, you go through life, and you're sure that your glasses are pretty clean, and then you sit down at a place where you've got giant lights, and it shows all of the problem. Like you're like, oh, these are really dirty. Anyway, I have a new cereal, and it's gonna get soggy, and I was like, I'm not willing to wait an extra
90 seconds, but you spent 90 seconds cleaning your glasses and talking about it?
Yeah, because I couldn't see my cereal. It makes sense, right?
Anyway, you don't want it to get too soggy, so start eating. Oh well, the M10 says, like those hot lights in a makeup store to show all your flaws as a human and sell you makeup? Kinda. I'm gonna open my yogurt, so that's done at least. There we go. And he says, is it one of the billions kinds of Cheerios? I mean,
no.
They're circles.
These are not Cheerios. So this is the mashup that is Froot Loops and Frosted Flakes. And, I hope that you don't have too much tired eyes, because guess what, my friend? It's time for a surprise. The surprise is that there's a song where I'm trying to get a crunch, but just give me a bit, cause I have got a bunch. I have a bunch. I'm awake. You can tell by the phrase, too much tired eyes. Put me in, Captain.
I got too much tired eyes.
You can't help those. Too much tired. Oh, there's too many syllables.
Just eat, honey. That was 6,000 bits from the Leaf, who said, surprise!
I was surprised. I was genuinely surprised.
Lex Aegis subscribed, welcome. And we have 13 months from Cala Libre. And 14 months from the Gaming Fan, 1928.
You're just taking that from me.
I am. Well, you're gonna eat. May the Siren resubscribed at 10 months, thank you. Lost Vagabond sent 300 bits. Bob, are you still with us?
I was downstairs, but I presume Bob is still around.
I didn't hear Bob either.
I don't think Chaz gets rid of things. Like the specific alerts and stuff. I think they just stick around forever.
No, he's not.
Ooh. Chaz says I did get rid of Bob. Do you want him back? No. No. He's dead now.
He's dead now. Culk9 resubscribed 8 months, thank you. Good morning, train.
Oh.
Suddenly
Because we talked about Bob. We talked about Bob and everyone's like, I can't believe Bob's dead.
Wild M10 sent 300 bits. While all the clown focus is on major devs this week, don't forget the Wholesome Games Direct exists. Much love.
For those who are not aware, it's like E3 week.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been a lot to see. I haven't seen any of it. But one of the things was the Wholesome Games Direct. There was some publicity about it, and I was like, "Oh, that's a really cool idea. I like that." And also the Mother fans, Mother Forever, they're doing another direct. Is it already? Did it happen? Is it going to happen? I don't remember when it is. I just remember that these things are happening.
So far, I've only caught a little bit of...
It already happened. Okay. I'm not... You can tell. I'm not caught up on... I haven't watched anything about video games.
Tom was streaming... Was it Sony? I caught a little bit of it, what he was doing. And I remember people in chat were talking about Beyond Good Evil 2. Which is a game I've been waiting for, and it wasn't.
Tropical Freeze said the real highlight of E3 was Plumbers Don't Wear Ties coming to Switch. I was excited when I saw that. See, that's the thing. I haven't watched any of these things, but I feel like I have a pretty good understanding of like what's happening. I'm just getting like bullet points, really.
Oh, it wasn't Sony? Was it Ubisoft that Tom was doing?
That's fine.
Eli and Company resubscribed at 7 months, thank you. And we have 20 months from Comic Queen. And 33 months from A Wild Untan.
Thank you.
200 bits from the Unimpressed 90s Kid.
Also, if you don't know what Plumbers Don't Wear Ties is, I can't possibly explain it. It's an old game for the 3DO that has never been re-released. And has always been very expensive as a result. And it's like an FMV game, but it's like a slideshow, so it's not full motion video. It's just pictures. It's wild.
The Digital Nugget 300 sent 300 bits. I finished the PC the other week, and I'm happy to catch breakfast stream on the new rig. Hope you and Mel are doing well, Stephen.
Nice. Congrats on that, by the way. It's always nice to have, a new setup.
Yeah. Air-3K resubscribed at 32 months. And we have 100 bits from Wanderlive. Jennifer Jack resubscribed at 30 months. And we have 7 months from Safrina13. Squid sent 300 bits. Who's ready for Nintendo Direct and the inevitable disappointment clown?
I mean, if you keep your expectations low, you'll never be disappointed. Right?
Morning, Jiggy.
Morning, Jiggy.
Adrian Kell resubscribed at 15 months. And we have 500 bits from Mr. Game Boy. How many songs do you think it'll take to keep you here till the Direct?
Coffee.
Probably too many.
Too many.
We're not streaming the Direct. We're not streaming the Direct. However, we will watch the Direct.
Oh, we are? We?
Yes.
Okay. It's the first I've heard of it.
When have I ever watched one by myself?
Never, but
Okay, so
first I've heard of it.
Also not true. I have mentioned this literally every day for like 3 days. It's fine. Yeah, we're gonna watch the Direct, and I'll be posting the reactions after. First I've heard of this. I haven't heard of this. What's this? I don't know. What video game? What's a video game? That was me doing an impression of my wife.
Digital Nugget gifted 10 gift subs. Thank you. They went to Bruno Days, Do Eye Makeup, Randy, Jabrel's here. It was cut off. I said you are, and then like it was cut off with the Y, so I saw and, so I had to scroll. Creation EV, Meowsticks, A-Spec 050, Crisis 123, LK Forte, Edzuologist, and Omega Kayla. Thank you. Finish your cereal so you can do this.
I'm almost done.
Scyther Time resubscribed at 4 months. Thank you. Is this cool enough to drink yet? Nope. Unimpressed 90s Kid sent 100 bits. Finish your cereal. I need coffee. Aldo sent 300 bits. Is Bob still here, or did Chaz murder him?
As a little update, Bob did get murdered. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, everyone. Bob is dead.
So CP-chan sent 300 bits. I wonder if anyone uses clown as a fortune teller.
Wait, which one's the good one? The demon? Is the demon the good one?
I think the going up one.
That's the good one?
Going up in pitch.
Okay.
Back in Red resubscribed at 16 months. And Nomi Bookworm 1984 resubscribed at 6 months. How much cereal?
I'm done. Give me that back.
So what was your opinion of that cereal?
So, yeah, I wanted, instead of having a bite and giving my opinion, I decided to eat the entire bowl. As a reminder, if you came in just a little late, that was a bowl of mashups where it contains equal parts Froot Loops and Frosted Flakes. So it's just, if you want the same experience and you can't find it, just buy a box of Frosted Flakes and Froot Loops and pour them into the bowl at the same time. Or don't. Because what this tasted like was Froot Loops that had rocks in it.
Rocks?
And what I mean is, all Froot Loops are smooth. Like they're smooth all the way around. Okay. Frosted Flakes are not, because they're flakes. They're flakes, mm-hmm. Right? So there's like subconscious ways in which you eat cereals that changes things a little bit. If you're eating Froot Loops, you let your guard down a little bit because they're rounded, whereas if you were eating Captain Crunch, you're like very meticulously eating in a way that doesn't cut your mouth open. It's kind of like that. So what happens is this tastes like Froot Loops. So you're just eating Froot Loops. However, you keep getting Frosted Flakes that are like kind of stabbing. Never let your cereal guard down. That's how you end up like Bob. Bob was trying to enjoy some cereal. Jazz stabbed him. Where did he get the knife? His cat. Anyway. Yeah, there's going to be some confusion. If you don't know who Bob is, it was a Friday stream thing. Bob was one of the characters from Game Garage, which helps explain things just a little bit. And in a very short amount of time, Bob became an alert. If you watch just a tiny bit of the stream VOD, you'll get it immediately. You'll be like, oh, that's what's happening. So, solving that mystery. Also, thank you for the train this morning. Appreciate that. Train has pulled into the station, giving out dogs.
There's a cat.
One cat. Mostly dogs, one cat. As Bob is my witless. I always loved that. Okay. Yeah, I have a whole box of this, and I'm going to eat it. But it really is like tasting... It's like eating Froot Loops with stuff in it. It's fine. 246 bits from LB. Thank you, LB. Let's see. 300 bits from Colin, who says, Bob the Clown. Sorry, Bob. Vegetable Sorbet gives 3 subs to Broken Quest, Okato, and Felix20. We got 11-month resub from Plu Sonic, 100 bits from Fossix, and 100 bits from Comic Queen. Thank you both. 28 months from Halaloth, 300 from Darkness Pride with the George Surprise Star Rain. 300 bits from Nunchoos that says, I was confused this morning when I got the stream notification an hour earlier. Then I remembered it's because I live in Wisconsin now. Speaking of which, Mal, do you have any words of wisdom?
Start watching the Packers.
That's it.
Everyone's gonna ask.
I mean, in fairness, if you're going to interact with the locals, knowing
what the score was the night before.
Knowing what the score was and knowing like 2 players would probably be helpful. It's actually not a terrible idea. Knowing just like if you're gonna go to a local bar and you're gonna possibly interact with someone there, knowing about the important sports team that is near your town is just a helpful thing. Do I? No, not at all. But it's not a terrible thing. 30 from Xenoblade Fanatic. Good morning, grandparents. Hopefully you have a great day. I'm excited for the direct. If I know we were talking about it before. There's been E3 stuff coming out. But the thing that I haven't watched any of it, but I am going to watch. We are going to watch as a surprise to Mal, the Nintendo Direct today, and that's at noon Eastern, so a little under 3 hours from now. I'm looking forward to it, just because I typically enjoy them, and I'm hoping that there will be a little more information on Breath of the Wild 2. Just another little tiny trailer, maybe a window for release. Whatever. But I've enjoyed just getting bullet points. I'm gonna be honest with you. It takes a long time to watch. How many conferences are there's like 8 conferences or whatever?
Yeah.
It takes a long time to watch that, and it's really nice to just go to a website and be like, they did this, 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 and this. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Cool. But I will watch the Nintendo one. Oh, yeah, a big Animal Crossing update would be nice, too.
Yeah, that would be nice.
That game could use a sudden... Like what they did for, was it... No, it was the 3DS one. New Leaf. Is that New Leaf?
Yes, when they did the Welcome Home update.
Yeah, where they, like, out of nowhere, they were like, hey, we have a jillion things that we're adding into the game. Like, that was really cool. So hopefully that sort of thing will happen.
I'm cold.
Really?
I'm freezing.
I mean, I'm not, but you turn the thing down.
Kepler needs to come up here.
Kepler's downstairs in the sun.
Where it's warm.
Hey, I preemptively took...
A photo of Kepler?
Hold on, I preemptively took cat tax this morning. There you go. I also cropped it to 16:9 because it'll display better on the screen. So if you want to see what is Kepler up to, now you'll know. And it's what he's usually up to when he's not up here. He just chilling. He a good boy. Oh God, Evie, no! Evie, no! Kirby, no! Vaguely threatening. If you don't want to get stabbed, you better get upstairs, Kepler. Anyway. Renee says he's like a bouncer. Where was I? 301 bits from Somberbank with the Massey. Huh? Sorry. Jared Dillon gives a sub to Bobby Boy. You guys remember that show, Bobby? Bobby's World. That's what it's called. Bobby's
with,
World. Howie Mandel?
Howie Mandel.
There's some video games on it, too. Anyway.
I had a computer game called... What was it called? Toonland? Howie Mandel voiced him. And it was just kind of like it would take you to a scene and you would like click on things and sound effects would happen and songs would play. And you could like travel to other scenes. And they would sing like She'll Be Coming Around the Mountain.
Yeah.
I only remember...
I didn't have a computer when I was a kid. So.
Like, at the end, when you like leave, he's like, alright, goodbye. And then, like, the ending music is someone humming. And he goes, do you want to know why they're humming? They don't know the words. And, like, I just remember that as a kid and thinking that was funny.
Yeah, I didn't really have a computer until I was 10? I don't know. I can never remember. Something like that, 9 or 10. So I didn't have one when I was young. There was a Bobby's World game that was like unreleased too. On the Super Nintendo maybe? So it only exists as like a beta cart? I don't remember. I'm not sure. Anyway.
Merrily We Roll Along. Yes, that was it.
I'm glad that you had a good childhood.
Because I had a computer before you?
Well, you got to click buttons. I remember my parents had a friend who had a computer, and there was one time I went and he showed me it was some sort of like I didn't know anything about Spider-Man, but there was a Spider-Man thing. It was like the same thing because computer games, a lot of computer games at the time were that. It was like you click around and it's like a glorified Flash thing. But
yeah.
At the time it was a big deal.
Like things would animate a little bit, but
yeah. But I remember being like, I mean, maybe it was a coloring book too. I don't know, but like it was like the coolest thing. It was like, oh my, what? Wow. And I got to do it once, and then I remember going back to their house in the future, and always feeling too not like nervous or weird to ask if I could play that game again. Mm-hmm. But I would always get really excited when we would go over there, like maybe I'll be able to play the Spider-Man game. But like he never brought it up ever again because of course not, because he's an adult. But like I remember being a kid and just being like, I really want to see that thing again, and then not having the courage to be like, can I play that game? So instead I would just silently and patiently hope that he would bring it up, and he never brought it up ever again.
A friend of mine, I had an experience like that. She had this game on her computer that was about capturing chickens in space, but it played a little bit like Chip's Challenge.
Okay.
And it took me a very long time, and finally I found it, but I don't remember the name now, but I did save a YouTube playthrough of it.
Well, that's good.
So I can find it easily, but
good.
It's somewhere.
I finished my coffee. We're causing a drought. Water will be going away on Thursday. Not like on screen, and then also the mug. So if you've ever wanted a water mug to put maybe water in, that'll be going away. Yeah, we're sorry. Water's no more water ever again.
It was not Chicken Invaders. Someone asked if it was Chicken Invaders.
Yeah, you have to live off of coffee and tea. You have to live off of coffee and tea. I'm sorry. I cannot say what the next drink will be. I cannot say that. Partially because I'm not sure, although I think we have some ideas. How can we have coffee and tea without water? It's been working for a year. It's the first time that water has existed.
Oh, I have to log into my old YouTube account and figure out what that game is.
So yeah, just letting you know, water will be leaving breakfast stream as of Thursday. It's been fun to have it around though. It's been fun to have the liquid that everyone needs to not die. So that's nice. And on a side note, not really related to water because I had coffee in this because that's what you put in mugs. I'll be having caffeine tomorrow. I've continued to have decaf, and I've done really well. Like aside from the one stream where I was like, I need a sip of this, and then remembered it was caffeine. Aside from that, I have not had caffeine. So I'm gonna have some tomorrow. And then tomorrow makes 30 days. So I did pretty good.
Yeah.
And I've been sleeping good again. I didn't sleep super great last night, but that's the first night in like 10 days.
Right, you haven't
like
slept.
7 to 10 days that things have been really good. So I think I'm fine. Probably fine. Can always pop more melatonin. Anyway, all right. 500 bits from Radio Dread says celebrating my double plus 1 day early and jumping on the hype train. Well, thank you, Radio Dread. And early congrats on your double plus. 300 bits from Aldo says shoes, Searle.
Kepler.
Oh, Kepler. Yeah, Kepler. That's part of it. Should make Searle 2. It would be like Searle 1, but it would be shorter and louder.
No.
That's it. That's the only thing that would change. 400 bits from Sapphire Becca with the Jepson. Ew, woo! Star Rain. 500 bits from Chemist. Which is the 500 bits. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Brandon
can never get over this. 8 months from Neji10 Forever 67. With 317 bits from Adrian Gao. Says, hype of train. I continue to hope that F-Zero will rise from the dead today. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something? I think that would single-handedly...
I would love Pikmin 4.
Nope.
I know.
Nope. If I have one prediction, it's that we're not getting Pikmin 4. Ever.
Hope you're wrong.
Well, so the reason I don't think that they're going to do anything with Pikmin 4 right now is that they've previously announced that Niantic is doing that AR game.
Yeah.
So I feel like it'd be kind of weird if
Rhythm Heaven would be good.
If they were like, hey, here's this, and then I mean it's not impossible, I guess, but I don't think that's likely. I think that they'll probably reveal the AR game to get people interested back into Pikmin, and then a year later, then they'll do something with Pikmin 4 if they're going to do it. My personal thoughts. Wild M10 gives a sub to Bob _ 5 months from Crescent Gaia. 300 bits from Will A. Peters. I got what the fun on the Switch. You probably mean what the dub. On the Switch, and it updated since you played. You can watch the clip again and turn off the negative quips when you're losing. Just thought you should know. Well, that's good. That was single-handedly the biggest problem with it. Because our group did not like that part. The concept of the game was actually fine. The concept was fine. But yeah, it was extremely negative to the people in last place. Like, you're terrible. You should not play this game. So I'm glad that they did that. Good. That makes me feel better. And also watching the clip again is helpful. Yeah, it still like the game to me felt it almost felt like an early access game, even though it wasn't.
Yeah.
But also, I think it's the company's first game.
I don't know.
Or at least the first game like that. So maybe that's why. It's just a little rough around the edges, but the concept is good. And yes, Dan is funny. Source. I've known Dan a long time. He's continually been funny. We got 9 months from Mikey DCT. It's a triple plus. 100 bits from Comic Queen. 510 from LB says, hyper hype. Not only for the train, but then also for the Nintendo Direct. I know that there's so many folks who are going to be excited for the Direct today. I don't think you're getting Pikmin 4. But, just to... It's fine to be excited. 20 months from Akira Dre. Air-3K gives a sub to Revigilant. M2N gives a sub to Bob is Dead 69. Just throwing in that number at the end there. 300 bits from Nunshoe. Steven, tell me how much you hate my egg recipe. Okay. Scramble 2 eggs in a bowl or mug with a splash of milk and add cheese or whatever else you want with it. Microwave for 2.5 to 3.5 minutes with the power cut to 50%. I promise it doesn't turn to rubber. It's fine. It's fine. I mean, if you want egg and you want egg fast, then you could microwave it. But would I microwave an egg? I would not.
No.
Under no circumstances would I microwave an egg. Source. I've microwaved an egg, and I was not thrilled. Because the thing is, you're saying 2.5 to 3.5 minutes for microwaving the egg. 3 minutes you can make really good scrambled eggs in 3 minutes. I know I cook them slow and low, and it can take a long time, but you can cook really good eggs in 3 minutes. Now, the downside is that you do dirty a pan. But that's it. That's the only
You don't
downside.
care because I wash all the pans.
It's true. It's true. I do dishes, Mal does pans, so if I dirty a pan, I'm like, it's not my problem. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with this, but you could probably be making eggs slightly better by just doing them in the pan. Just do them on, put it on medium heat while you're swishing your eggs around, and then by the time you're done with that, the pan will be heated. Boom. Put on medium heat. Never lift the pan from the burner and just continually move it around. And in 3 minutes, you'll absolutely be done. So that'd be my suggestion. But you know, however folks want to make their food is fine. I urge people to always try slightly different things, because it may not take as much time to make it on a pan as you think. You can also burn eggs if you want. We've got folks here that like burning eggs. They know who they are. 200 bits from Japanese PS2. Thank you. 12 months. From Kylie and Hero. That's a year. Congratulations. Chat is great. 500 bits in the... Noah says that's me. Teach their own. 500 bits from the Leaf, who says, Clown mini surprise. Hope you are doing okay and that the weather is staying manageable. So actually, the weather's been hot because it's summertime now. But we actually took a walk yesterday because we woke up really early.
Yeah.
We took a walk at 6:30 a.m. yesterday, which was also about the only time we probably could have walked anyway, because then the sun comes out. So we got a chance to do a nice early morning walk when it was 70 degrees. And it was great. It was great. It was a nice way to start the day, too.
Yeah. We have a cold front coming through this afternoon, but it's not going to get cold. It's just going to get slightly less hot and humid.
Yeah. Basuna says, it's actually been much more manageable in South Carolina than in previous years in June. Yeah, I haven't looked up any data to confirm that's how I felt, but that is how I felt.
Yeah.
Because we haven't really had any days that shot into the 90s. Things have been not going any higher than like mid-80s.
Upper 80s.
Maybe upper 80s. And you know, we're halfway through June now, so I've been kind of expecting it to be like 90s, but it hasn't happened yet. So I'll take early morning walks if I can do it. Yeah. Meanwhile, in Texas, I can only speak for South Carolina. And it has been raining a lot. We had like a week. I think we had a week of rain.
Yeah. More than that.
Is that over now?
After the front today.
Okay. Coffee. Yeah. I'll gladly take not exceeding, the 80s.
I mean,
for as long as I can.
It's going to be in the 80s this week, even after the front comes through. But it will feel better than it did last week when it was in the 80s.
Okay. It doesn't matter. I don't really go outside.
No.
So but if I can get a walk in, I would like to. So.
Yeah. The day we went to the beach with Emil was probably our last nice day.
Yeah.
Where it wasn't super hot.
Yeah, but also that day was like overcast and
yeah, it was really nice.
It was a good day for walking. Coffee. We got 21 months from the Master Sword 97. Appreciate it. Also 21 months from Lixrin. 9 months, it's triple plus from Storms 002. 33 months from Phantom SVT. 24 months from the Queen's Thief, hitting 2 years. And then back to back, Andrew in the Kitchen, 24 months. 2 2s. Congrats. We get 100 bits from Sacra Celica. And 300 from Wild M10 says, unfortunately for Mal, Stephen ran her schedule through Kepler, and Kepler has a habit of deleting appointments in favor of cuddle meetings. That does happen. I mean, that's actually, like, it's a joking thing, but that's like a very real thing, because there's definitely been times where I've been on the couch, and I was going to get up, shortly. I was finishing what I was doing, finishing eating, and Kepler will get in my lap, and I'll go, well, we could probably watch, like, another video or two, because now he's comfortable. I really hate the idea of the cat gets in my lap and then I'm like, no, buddy, I gotta get, like, I can't do it. I'm like, okay, well, let's give him just a little few minutes. I just can't do it. I cannot move the cat. It's a problem, really. There's many times where it's a legitimate problem. It's fine. 3 bits from Danny X6 with that Eevee knife star rain. It's fine. It's fine. And then also from Danny, the Kirby knife star rain. And then for 300, Danny says, those were not meant to come off as threatening. Just Nintendo and knife brings me joy. No worries. No worries. I don't think Kepler's threatened. He's never even come up here.
No.
I think he's just really enjoying the sun. I guess up from Goblin on a Stick. That's a great name. Welcome. 17 months from Joel Dre. Appreciate it. 300 from Action Cat says, no, water. I just got my Kep mug. And my shirt is coming soon. The design is so cute and I'm happy I got it.
It's very cute.
Yeah, that's available until the end of June. So just as a reminder to folks, if you're looking to pick up the Kep mug or shirt, that's until the end of June. And we're already working on the next Artist Series thing, which will debut at some point in July, hopefully early July. 300 from Colin says, water and water and water, water, water and water. Or in this case, drought. Drought and drought and drought. Matt Sane says, have you watched WWDC? If so, thoughts? Yeah, we released a vlog on it. So you should check that vlog. It's just me and Chaz talking about... We watch the event and then we give our thoughts on things. It's not the worst one. It's not the best one. But it's not the worst one. Water and drink the coffee. That's what WWDC is. 33 months from Danny. 31 months from Jizak. 300 bits from Decoy Troy. Want a breakfast tip? If you're cooking bacon in a pan and you're cooking hash brown patties, you can reuse that bacon grease to basically fry the hash browns, and it's wonderful. Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, also just as a general rule, if you can use the drippings from bacon, use them. I know some folks will save bacon grease, and that's a little beyond what I'm willing to do, but it's not unreasonable because they make things taste good. Never say drip. Nope. We use that word. Growing up, it was drippings. They, if you're saving the grease, you're saving the drippings. Well, drippings. Not with no G. Drippings. Sorry that you had to learn that. 300 bits from Robert N., which says, got my vaccine 8 weeks earlier than anticipated and was able to secure a work placement for September, so thanks for the good vibes, and good vibes to all who are searching.
Awesome.
That's good. Fantastic. Yeah, I'm glad that for some folks the vaccine has been moving up a little bit, because we've actually had a few reports of that, especially breakfast streams, so good. Good. I hope things get back to normal even faster if possible. 300 bits from Unimpressed 90s Kid. It was great having that interaction on Twitter yesterday, Grandpa. I wish y'all were streaming it, but it's probably for the best because of the music. LOL, Tom can vouch. Yeah, if you're gonna stream any of the E3 stuff, that's fine. Be aware that the conferences and stuff are not designed for that level of clearance, the licensing. So if you stream it and they're just like, you know what, we're just gonna play Rock and Roll High School during this trailer, I mean, there's nothing you can do other than be like, and then just suddenly mute the stream. And it's actually it can be particularly difficult if you're not familiar with the music, because it could be music and you don't know. So, for me, I'm like, not gonna bother. There are companies, I don't know if I have emails about it, but I don't know if I can say because I don't know.
Yeah.
what their rules are because I don't know any of that. But there are companies for this E3 that did special streams that were cleared. So they did 2. So they actually did like their normal stream, but then they did a second one for streamers that was cleared of all the right stuff so they could stream it. Square Enix did one? Cool, that's who I was talking about, but I didn't know if I could say that. I figured that it was public knowledge, but I wasn't sure. So yeah, they did one, and that's a really good idea. And yeah, there was a tweet from the Japanese Nintendo account that basically said, please don't mirror the Direct. I understand their thinking, but I'm like, people are gonna do this, Nintendo. You're not gonna be able to stop them. Anyway, the thing that I like to do is I like to just record our reactions, because the good thing is I can then just cut that down. So for a lot of people, they've already watched the event. They don't want to watch the entire event twice.
Yeah.
So I just cut it down, and then you're basically only getting our exact reactions, and you don't have to watch the whole thing again. So like the Direct is probably going to be like, what, 40 minutes long? So you don't have to watch a 40-minute long thing again. When I cut it down, it'll be, 12 minutes, maybe. Then you just have to watch 12 minutes, and you know that for 12 minutes straight, it's going to be non-stop us being like, look at that's a dog. Hopefully there's a game with a dog, or I'm going to seem like a liar. There's going to be a dog. Well, game. What? How are they going to do?
Is that on your bingo card?
Yeah. Well, my bingo card is just dog across all of them. So if I get dog at all, I just win. Yeah, there's gonna be a dog somewhere. That's what that's what everyone should look out for today. See if there's a dog somewhere in the Nintendo Direct. If there's not, I lose E3 this year. But if there's a dog anywhere, like on screen anywhere, or if for whatever reason they would mention dog, I don't know why they would do that without there being a dog on screen. But if they do, if I can get the dog count 1, we won E3. Really looking forward to that. We'll see. Where was I before I started just saying things? 33 months from Crunchy Face. Thank you. 500 bits from Gamer Girl. 2108 from Iowa. So I didn't sleep very well. I was so excited about E3. Well, I'm glad that you're excited. And I know a lot of folks here are very, very ready to see the Nintendo stuff. And at this point, you got 2.5 hours. That's not long.
Does Isabelle count as a dog?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so if they show Animal Crossing, I mean, certainly if they did Animal Crossing, they would show Isabelle.
Or KK.
Or KK. Yeah, those count as dogs. So I've got some options here. Matatet says Duck Hunt Remastered. Wouldn't that be wild? That's not even a crazy idea. That's really not a that's more likely than F-Zero. Oh, big oof. Big oof. Because you can do it where the Joy-Con, you can move the Joy-Con and like... The Joy-Con can be a gun, right? Like it's probably not as good as a light gun, maybe, but that would work. You could make Duck Hunt remastered. I just don't, I'm just saying I don't think it's impossible. Noah says it seems more likely than a Minish Cap remake. I mean, they're all in on Skyward Sword this year, right? So I would be blown away if they talked about any Zelda stuff other than Breath of the Wild 2. I'd be absolutely blown away. I do not expect that, because they did Link's Awakening, and they've done
Skyward Sword. Or they're working
well, they did
on
Twilight Princess, but that wasn't even on. That was on Wii U.
Yeah.
Should really put them all on a cart. I mean, they're not going to, but gosh darn it, it's fine. It's fine. I don't even care. I don't even care. It's not even a big deal. And Ocarina of Time for 3DS. Yeah, they did Ocarina of Time for 3DS. They've redone all of these Zelda games.
Yeah.
They have already redone them. But they're not playable because we move on from system to system, and in the case of the Wii U, we moved on pretty quick. Like, so it's like, well, crap. What do we do about Wind Waker? What do we do about these other games? I don't know. It's really it's upsetting. So the good news is that we are converging to this future where we have consoles that stick around longer and longer. It's already been the case for Xbox and PlayStation. Mm-hmm. To an extent, it's kind of been the case with Nintendo to a degree, because their systems have always focused so much on backwards compatibility. But in the case of Xbox and PlayStation, you're seeing, where the new games can still be played on the old stuff. It just runs kind of crappy. And, that's probably what the Switch is going to do too. There will be another Switch, and it'll play. It can play the old games, and then the old ones will probably be able to play the new games, but they'll run kind of crappy. So like, as time goes on, and we stick in this world where the Switch is just around, maybe they'll finally be like, you know what? Put all those Zelda games on a single cart. And yes, I agree. They could be doing a lot more with the Virtual Console. It's fine. 200 bits from Unimpressed 90s Kid. Appreciate it. And 300 bits from Wild M10 says, what are your thoughts on the games that are HD pixel art? For instance, Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D and Final Fantasy 1 through 6 Pixel Master.
You gotta look it up.
Yes. Yes, I do. 3. I'll give you an opinion, but I need like 1 second. HD2D. Hold on, let me just look at this.
I need to see.
So HD2D. Let me just pull up this trailer. Hold on, there's a 15-second ad for Jacket and Clanks. Ratchet and Clank. Ratchet and Clank, Jacket. I confused those two series. Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank. So what did I say? Jacket and Clanks? Jacket and Clanks. So anyway, let's see here. Okay, so yeah, we get it. This is Dragon Quest 3. We know what it looks like. Show us what it looks like now. Oh, Octopath Traveler.
Yeah.
Just tell me Octopath Traveler. Just to be like, it looks like Octopath Traveler. Oh, that's cool.
It's pretty.
Yeah, I never played Octopath, but I always thought it was beautiful. Mm-hmm. Oh, not just because I did, but chat moves so fast. Well, I always thought Octopath was beautiful, so then that's my thought, is that I love that. Unintentional reaction, yes.
I mean, there's been some neat remakes, because that's one of them. Like, Link's Awakening was super cute.
There's a lot of different ways to do it.
Yeah.
I'd love for them to do some games in the claymation style too.
Yeah.
Because Kirby has done some of that, and I would love to see. People have done mock-ups of like Earthbound and stuff done in that style. I would love to see Earthbound redone in some way. I think that would be fantastic. That'd be really, really cool. I don't know if they would.
Yeah, I don't know
but goodness,
either.
wouldn't that be neat? Wouldn't that be neat? It almost makes you wonder, because like Hobonichi has gone hard.
Yeah, they have on
Like-
the other project stuff.
Like, and we haven't talked about it.
We still haven't opened the thing I got like last week.
So we haven't spent a lot of time talking about it in the past few months. There was a few things that came out, and we unboxed them and talked about them on the vlog. But like last year, it was before. Was it even? I think it might have been before the pandemic.
They announced it, yeah.
They were like, we're going to do the Hobonichi Mother Project. We're just going to release some Mother stuff. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. And I was like, they're probably going to do like 3 things. No. Like every month. And it's now been like 15, 16 months, they keep releasing stuff.
Yeah.
Like, just last night, they announced a bunch of new stuff. They just keep doing it. They just don't stop. And at some point, I think part of it is they've never really focused hardcore on merchandise for the Mother series. And I think they started doing it, and the fans were like, we have we've been waiting. Please take this money and make stuff. And I think they've gotten so much money that they're like, wait a minute, we should make this stuff. So they haven't stopped. They just haven't stopped. M10 says you're letting yourself up. So that's the thing, right? There comes a point where you're like, man, they haven't stopped doing this. Is there any chance? Is there any, like, small chance that this is in some way building up to, like, a bigger thing? The answer is no, there's not. But, like, it does make you pause for a minute. It does. It's almost certainly just related to money. It's just, you know, Hobonichi has spent... Hobonichi's been around for 20 years. And in
I think 25. 20... My pen is the anniversary one, and I can't remember what number's on it.
I can. It's 20. So it's been around for 20 years, and in that time, like, they started to do a Techo. Like, every year they do a Techo, and they'd be like,
here's one,
we'll
maybe
put,
two.
We put, like, Ness on it. Does anyone want that? And then, you know, people would be like, Jesus, oh my, yes, please, please. And then one time they were like, so, I don't know if anyone... Probably no one would care about this at all, because we make, you know, like, jams and jellies and popcorns and stuff. But, like, what if...
We've done a lot of clothes lately.
What if we did, like... You know that old thing that the boss made, the video game? What if we took, like, the little character, the little Mr. Saturn, and made it in, like, a little plush? Does anyone care about that? I don't know if anyone would even care about it. And people are like, ah! And they're just screaming... When they made the big plush the first time around, it was like a lottery, and there wasn't even that many that were available. It was like I think they made 500, and they're like, because, you know, I don't know, even know if anyone wants one, probably not. So yeah, people have just been screaming for 20 years about, like, please make things, and finally they woke up last year and they're like, you know what, we're gonna make all of the things.
Script book.
And it's actually gotten to the point where it's ridiculous, because for my entire life I was like, man, if they start making Mother merchandise, I would absolutely get some. I'm super excited. And now it's went the other direction, where they've made so much that I'm like, yeah, it's just I can't buy all this stuff, man.
4 new things.
Last night they unveiled a
new shirt color.
The towels.
Yeah, new towels.
They have a towel that has Kumatora and Duster on it, and Lucas and Klaus.
New keychains.
Some sort of poster things.
A new pin. Mushroom.
Yeah, the Ramblin' Evil mushroom pin.
Mm-hmm. And then the magnets.
Yeah, and they got these fridge magnets that they're you know, fridge magnets. They're small, but they're plush, so they're like little plushes, but they go in your fridge. But the thing is, there's 9 of them. And they're each $11, and except the Starman, that's $13. So it's like, you know, if you want to buy all these things, that's $100,
and shipping,
and then shipping from Japan. So like,
it's gone up because they were not able to use their postal service for most of last year.
So they, you know, it's just, this has happened every single month.
Yeah.
And I kept thinking, well, you know, now they're done. Now they're done. And then every month they're like, actually, no, we
re-released the Mother 2 jacket.
That was why I did not pick that up. Will I regret one day not picking that up? Maybe.
Yeah.
But it was just really expensive, and I was like, it's a jacket. Maybe I will. Maybe in like 2 years I'll be like, why did I not buy that jacket? I don't know.
Hi, Cappy.
But yeah, the crazy thing is they haven't stopped, and I'm not convinced they're going to.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Renee, maybe. Maybe. Now, if you want one, you gotta go to eBay, back where they're $4 bajillion. Anyway, we'll see what happens. we'll see if they continue to make stuff or not. But it's nice that out of nowhere, Earthbound fans have merch when for so long they didn't. But it's just a little much.
Yeah.
It's just a little much. Anyway, 7 months from C. Fei. Appreciate that. And then 300 bits from MTan says, if you could choose between Mother 4, a Mother 3 port, or an Earthbound pixel art remaster, what would you choose? I mean, if Itoy was directing it, I would choose Mother 4.
Yeah.
Just for the fact that we technically already have Earthbound, we technically already have Mother 3. And, like, we have a localized version of Mother 3, and it's really good. And Earthbound is good. And, like, so, I would choose Mother 4. I would choose Mother 4. There is not a Mother 4. Some folks incorrectly thought that there's a Mother 4. There's not a Mother 4. There is a game that is heavily inspired by the Mother series that has a new name. I'm not sure what that name is. I forget what the name is. But yeah, if that were to happen, I would be Oddity. That's it, Oddity. The game has been in development for a long time. I wish them well, and I hope that they get it finished. I mean, I don't know how much is left, but hopefully they can get that done. But yeah, if Itoy is involved and they could make a Mother 4, that'd be neat.
Yeah.
See what last minute ideas are rattling around upstairs. But do I think we're getting that? No. I do think that Earthbound being remade in a different style is reasonable, though. I think it has the appeal. So, I don't think Earthbound would be next. I think if we're starting with Link's Awakening, I don't think Earthbound's next. But gosh, it'd be so interesting to see. So interesting to see other games done in different styles. I'd love to see that. So, really, hoping that we see some of that stuff. Today? Maybe. Who knows? We get 300 bits from Light Rock. Says, so excited for E3 this year. We have our own bingo cards in Discord having their own live reaction. Yeah, I saw that folks were planning to do the reaction in the Discord. I think that'll be fun.
Yeah.
To build off of everyone else's excitement, basically. That's important. 300 bits from Jay Linebeck says, I admit I do wonder how Nintendo would localize Mother 3 nowadays, considering the animal abuse, usage of Romanian slurs, and racial stereotypes like the Native American NPC, among other questionable issues the game has. The truth is they won't. That's the truth. There's probably a few little things in Mother 3 that, Nintendo would love to change. But there's things that they probably wanted to change in 2006. So, like, it'll almost certainly just be a back burner thing forever.
Come here, Kippies.
I don't know that it would. I really don't know that we're ever actually going to get it. It's fine. 500 bits from Mr. Gameboy says, what about this? Pick between a trilogy logo remaster of the 3 or Mother 3.
I think that's just supposed to be a trilogy remaster.
Oh, yeah. Okay, a trilogy remaster of the 3 or Mother...
Hi, darling.
Or Mother 4, rather. I mean, so... Again... I would love to see another game just because I've played the other 3, but I don't think that that's going to happen. Although I also don't think a trilogy remaster would happen either. Maybe when we're like 50. I'll stick with I'll stick with Mother 4 just because it'd be interesting to see if there's any other ideas that would happen. But again, either of these ideas are unfortunately not. Sadly not realistic. but I do want folks to know before they leave that I do firmly believe that a remake of Earthbound in a different style, I think that's reasonable. I don't think it's unreasonable at all, because Nintendo has re-released Earthbound a few times on the Super Nintendo Classic, on the Wii U, on the new 3DS. Like,
I wish they'd put it on the Switch.
yeah, but they've
Carly
also
said she'd play it if it was.
There's a lot of people that would love to play it, that haven't that the Switch is the first game system they've had in a long time, and that would be how they experience it.
Yeah.
And I would love for that to happen. I would absolutely love for them to do that, but they haven't. Partially because they're a little slow going when it comes to putting things on the system for whatever reason. Sephiroth says Earthbound, but it's in the style of Doom. I would not be expecting that.
No.
That would be something.
You need to be up here. I'm sorry.
Hi, baby. 17 months from Celilium. Appreciate it.
Hi.
Thank you.
You happy?
Digital Nugget says, I've played Earthbound like 9 times. I need to play the 10th.
Good boy.
For the longest time, I was playing it every year. I haven't played Earthbound now in a few years. But for the longest time, I was playing it every year, so I've played it a lot. I'll have to go back and play it at some point.
I've had a hankering to play Mother 3.
Mother 3? Mm-hmm. I mean, you can do that.
I know.
You have the power.
I know. There's a lot of things I have to play through. Someone mentioned Dark Cloud earlier.
The second one?
They had said like a sequel.
To Dark Cloud 1?
Well, the person didn't say 2, but...
Okay, because we have Dark Cloud. That one, that real. That exists.
What about a sequel to that?
That would be Dark Cloud 3. Which is not real. I don't think there was a Dark Cloud 3.
It'd be a good stream game. Because the dungeons are pretty mindless.
Dark Cloud?
2.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
There's better games, like, conceptually. But, I mean... I like Dark Cloud 2. My problem with Dark Cloud 2, and I think I've talked about this before, is that there's some parts that are very easy to mess up.
Dark Cloud 2?
In Dark Cloud 2, where like
there's only like 1 or 2 things.
There's a few things where
there's
like
only 1 or 2 things.
Like you have to know about them ahead of time.
I think there's a way around that, but I don't know. When I played it and the internet was new, that information wasn't around. It was just, you need to get this photo or you might not be able to do a thing.
Learner Pro says, please put Dark Cloud 2 on the considerations list, though.
Okage's on considerations list.
I was going to say, I think it is, but it's not. It's actually not. I thought it was. I'll throw it on there.
Thanks.
You're welcome. I put it on there. There's some other games that are a lot more likely sooner. But yeah, it's not impossible. So I played Dark Cloud 2 when it came out. I don't really remember why. I don't know if maybe I read about it in EGM or something, or maybe I just saw it at the store. And
I saw it on extended play, and I wanted it.
Okay, well, I never beat it, but I liked it. I was like,
I beat it. Well, there's an afterword. I didn't finish that all the way, but I beat the main story.
Max says, does Okage have a similar humor to Tulip, or is it a whole different beast?
I
mean, it's...
Okage reminds me more of Earthbound than Tulip.
But it is a humorous game.
Yes, there is humor in it.
Yeah. It's a funny one. Aduo says, wouldn't Okage need to be pre-recorded because it's pretty grindy? Well, the counterpoint to that would be, if you want to show the whole game, you can stream it, and then the edited version would just be heavily edited.
Yeah.
So. There's a bunch of different ways you could go about it, you know, because you could just pre-record it, or you could stream it, and then it'd be really casual during a lot of the dungeon encounters and stuff, and then when Dan edited it, that stuff would be cut out. That being said, it's gonna be a little bit before we jump into a long game. We have a bunch of short games that we're gonna look at. We'll go from there. Well, short. Everything is short when compared to Breath of the Wild. Have a bean. 300 bits from Satsy, who says, as we got hype over Mother and merch, my internet cut out. So, clown. My day is insert noise. Oh, wait, that's Mommy. That's fine.
We just got an interesting game in the mail.
Oh, yeah.
It's on the bar top downstairs. If you go get it, then you can keep it up here and put it on the list.
This will require a slight bit of explanation, but yes. Yeah, I'll show them.
So we were talking to Roland, and I was looking at my list of games I want. And I was like, oh, I had forgotten about this game that I put on my list, and I can't remember how I found out about it. But I found out about it, and I put it on my list, and then promptly forgot. I'm not yet.
I want to see if anyone, because we probably have some folks here that may recognize this. It wouldn't be many.
I could read the title.
It wouldn't be many. Does anyone know what game this is? Just really curious. Really curious if anyone recognizes the box art. This would be a little obscure. I honestly am not sure that I expect anyone to know what it is. Ah, Hanabi got it. It's Indonesia. It's Endo, E-N-D-O, Indonesia. Indonesia. So, how would you describe this game?
You have to, like, convince gods about something, and it repeats every, like, 10 days or something.
It's just a really bizarre...
Who's the developer?
I don't know.
It's on the front.
Vanpool.
Vanpool. Vanpool was made up of people who worked for Love to Lick, who did Moon, and then some people from Love to Lick went on and did the other company that made Chulip, and Vanpool also did Little King Story. So, like, they're all kind of similar.
Yeah, they all had similar roots, and there's some level of similar humor.
Yeah.
Anyway, this only plays on Japanese... Chaz has got a Wikipedia link if you're curious. This only plays on Japanese PS2s. So while we were at Player's Choice, Roland was like, hey, so Roland's a manager. He said, so when the owner was doing purchases and trying to pick up some stock for the store, he said he accidentally bought a Japanese PS2 because he wasn't paying attention. And I was like, oh, he's like, do you want it? And I was like, how much store credit I have? He's like, enough to cover it. And I'm like... So now we have a Japanese PlayStation 2, and we can play games like this.
Why would you put it there? You gotta put it on the list.
I'll remember.
Okay.
Now you can play Pepsi Man. Well, that was not the big... The barrier of entry for Pepsi Man was not the fact that we didn't own a Japanese PlayStation. The barrier for entry on Pepsi Man is that Pepsi Man is $4 bajillion. $4 bajillion. I know that I will remember because Mal emailed me last night an email that just says put Indonesia on the game list, and I have not marked it as read. So I will remember to do it, I promise. Mal was my reminder.
I think I found out about that game when Onion Games put out their survey.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember when they did that? They put out a survey in English
about
what games of ours have you played, and I hadn't heard of that one. So I think that's how I ended up with it on my list, and then promptly forgot I put it there.
Oh. It was funny because at Player's Choice, whenever you buy a... I'm assuming this is the way it still works. Whenever you buy a console, they give you $5 off a game. I mean, I guess any game, but the idea is that, you know, if you buy a console there, you get $5 off a game for the console, and if the game is less than $5, then you just get the console. Anyway, there obviously there's not a whole lot of Japanese PS2 games in the store, and by that I mean there are none. However, there was a game that came with the PS2 when they had ordered it, and it's a Japanese copy of Grandia X.
Yeah.
So we also have that, and I'm like, okay. So we don't own very many Japanese PS2 games. We have Indonesia, Grandia X,
Okage.
Chulip, Okage.
And the cat one. The cat, remember? It had a sparkly cover with the PS2
Did we buy Shadow
cat?
of the Colossus or no?
I don't remember. Maybe. But it was we also bought the one with the PS2 Japanese mascot cat. The white cat.
Yeah. Oh, I can't remember the name of that.
No, me neither.
But yeah. In Japan, the PlayStation 2 had a mascot that we did not have here in the States. And it's this cat thing. Anyway.
It kind of looks like KK Slider, but a cat.
Yeah, yeah, and it had they released games for it in Japan, so there's games for a mascot that just never existed here on the PlayStation 2. But we have one of them that we picked up when we were
Toro.
in Japan.
Yes, it's Toro.
Their loot says, was that the cat in PS All Stars?
I think so. I think that's why I recognized it.
Yeah, I've actually never played PS All Stars. But that would make sense, yeah. Yeah. Let me look.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I'm sure that it is.
Because
Cat
when I saw the game in
All
Japan, I was
Stars.
like, oh, it's that cat. I didn't know that cat had a game.
Yeah. Toro Inoue. Also known as the Sony Cat in English, is the official mascot for PlayStation in Japan and a playable character in PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. Man. That must have been really weird. It must have been really weird whenever that came out in America and people were like, who the crap is this cat? Yeah, so that's just the mascot that, for whatever reason, I guess it was just, you know, Americans, they don't like cute cats. They want, make another Gears of War.
But it was the PS2. They were like, Chulip.
Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. Anyway, other things to read. 13 months from Dark Shadow 86774. Thank you. And then 300 bits from a nerdy salesman says, count this toward that 4 bajillion. So, actually, on our last trip to Japan, I did see a copy of Pepsi Man.
Yeah, we did.
I've never in my life seen a copy of Pepsi Man in the wild, but I saw one. It was sealed. And it was... I don't remember how much it was. It was a lot of money.
Yeah.
It was a lot of money. I want to say that it was like $900.
Yeah.
That sounds right. I think it was like $900.
It was at Nakano Broadway, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, it was a lot. There's another game that, yeah, 900 American dollars. Yeah, not 900 yen. I would have picked it up. The equivalent of 900 American dollars. Well, this was in what year was this? It was 2019, so this is 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know how much the Japanese game market has been affected, to be honest.
I mean,
like in turn, because like the market here in the States for video games it's insane, and I have a million opinions about it, but I actually don't know that it's been affected in Japan the same way it has here.
I mean, that's the only game I've looked up in Japanese lately.
So, yeah, it's video game collecting. Things have changed.
Yeah.
Things have changed a little bit with games. 30 bits from Jared says, Mal, have you played through Moon yet?
Not yet.
That's also on our list.
Yeah.
So
I want to
wanna play
but
it.
you want to stream it.
Yeah. There's a lot of games.
I know.
There's a lot of games. There's a lot of games. 3 Bits of Dark Shadow says, finally got my second jab this Saturday. No side effects so far. Just taking it easy. Good.
Awesome.
Good to hear. I mean, Saturday is... Yeah, okay. Well, you might be good then. It's been 3 days. Some folks don't have side effects, so you might be fine. 3 Bits of Madu says, the thing streams need is more good indie games. It's been a year and a half since Arise, and I'd love to see more good indies played for more than 20 or so. Like any particular game on Doodle? Just, you know, throwing some concepts out there. Maybe like a game where maybe your dog, and you have, let's say there's a paintbrush involved. So like your dog and a paintbrush. Nah, that idea would never work. That's too crazy. That's too out there. Completely unrelated, there's this game out called Chicory. I'd like to try it. I'd like to try it. I sent an email over to the dev to try and get a dev key so I could try it out. So maybe we'll see that. Possibly. I'm aware of Doodle. I'm aware. For what it's worth, though, there's a lot of games on this list that are indies. I think I've talked about it before. I have 3 sections on here. I have games to stream with Mao, games to stream myself, and then another section of single-sitting games, which would probably be done with Mao, but the idea is that they're things that could be completed pretty quickly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of games on each list. I guess a sizable bit. So, yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited for some upcoming streams. Oh, this is a good time to just straight up tell everyone. This Friday is more Breath of the Wild because we're doing the Trial of the Sword. This will be the last time. This will be the last time that we stream Breath of the Wild. It's a little sad to see it go, but that'll be happening this Friday. Next Friday, I do believe that we're gonna play Mario Golf, because Mario Golf actually comes out that day.
Yeah.
And Mao has been really interested in Mario Golf, and
I played a lot of Mario Golf on GameCube with Stephanie.
So I was like, you know what? Okay, so we're just gonna pick up Mario Golf for next Friday and try it out. So if you're like, hey, is that game any good? I don't know, maybe, but we'll find out together next Friday. Yeah, Following says, you can play it virtually at a distance. You can. Dark Shadow also says, will you try a session in Master Mode? We will. I don't want to make any guarantees. It'll depend on time, but we will see on Friday. We'll see on Friday. It would just be, you know, the Trial of the Sword thing is a bonus, and depending on how that goes and how much time we have, maybe there would be a little time for showing some of Master Mode at the very end. I'm not sure, but we'll see. Agent G says, found it. It's April 12th, 2019, where you found Pepsi Man. Okay. How close was I on the price? Because in my brain, I was like, I bet that was like, what would that be, 90,000 yen?
Approximately.
I bet that'd be like 90,000 yen. But again, it's been years and I don't actually remember specifically. I just remember thinking, that's a lot of money. Sorry, did I karate?
You did.
I karate chopped your head. Pepsi Man's not even the super expensive one that I'm interested in. The one that I'd really love to own is LSD. Gotta be careful. I have to always make sure I have the context.
Yeah.
So Twitch doesn't shut us down.
The PS1 game.
Yeah, the PlayStation 1 video game called LSD. It's wild. It's wild. That's definitely the sort of thing that I'd love to manage to get. The problem is, it is more expensive than Pepsi Man, so I'm like, I don't know. Sam says, is it a trip? Yes, it is, actually. If you watch some gameplay videos of it, you'll be like, oh, wow, something's happening. Something is happening in this game. 30 months! From Wolves with Pie, that's a 2+. And then also 4 months from What in the Hville. Thank you. Satch says, LSD is more expensive than Pepsi, man. Also true. Should probably wrap up before Twitch is like, what's happening there? What's going on over there? So today is Tuesday. That means the continuation of the heist. So that you'll get to experience more of the heist. Today's is a good... Well, they're all good, but today's is another funny one. We also have the... Dan finished editing the heist.
Yeah. As
of yesterday, and we have a final episode count because we weren't sure because he was going through and editing it because it's hard. Like doing a multicam series with like all sorts of like doing a multicam video for Stephen and Friends is hard enough. Doing one where you have it for an entire it's really difficult. But Dan got it done, and it's 12 episodes. So there'll be Casino Heist for this week, and then the final episode will be next Tuesday. So that's the first thing. There's also there's a bunch of vlogs out. If you weren't watching StephenVlog yesterday, there's a bunch of stuff out. So I got a few things done, and I'll probably get another few things done today. Mm-hmm. Next week starts. Oh my God! I can't believe I didn't mention this already. Next week starts Grandpa's Game Garage.
Oh,
and if that sounds completely new, probably should have mentioned that. There's a brand new video game out called Game Builder Garage, and it's basically it's programming. It allows you to make short, simple games. It's a really, really cool idea. We did a stream of it on Friday, and it's fantastic. And yeah, gggrandpa.com is where you can go to play and submit levels. So if you find a cool level out in the wild and you want to submit it, you can do that. If you bought the game and you're like, I need levels to play, ha ha ha, I gotcha, gggrandpa.com. And when you play a level, you can also rate it, which helps me know which ones to play. So that's actually going to get started next week. And it's cool. It's really cool. I think it has so much potential. I really do. I've already seen a few little things
that are really cool
that are popping up on Twitter and stuff, and I'm blown away at what is capable in it, and also how quickly people are doing it. So yeah, I really hope that folks submit some stuff. And also, if you choose to pick up the game, for one, it's much cheaper than a normal game because it's only $30. And number two, you can get it on Humble if you want to help us out. And is that basically it?
Yeah, that's basically it. My stuff came out recently. Painting got mailed. Prints got mailed. I'm working on my June piece.
Yeah.
That's about it,
work in progress.
Yeah.
Trying to think if there's anything else. I don't think so. Probably not. And as one final reminder, this is the last Wather stream. Where did Wather wind up? Wather wound up at 2267. I mean, now they'll go up because I've mentioned it, but see, there it goes. But still pretty good. Tea and coffee continually are bound by magical energy to always be 200 apart. Tea in the lead. It's just the way it is. But Wather did pretty good. Everyone's quickly like, no, Wather, no. Listen, all good things, all Wather must come to an end. We must now force the drought. It's just the way it is. Okay. That's it. That's it. Thank you, folks, for being here. I hope you have a good... Oh, wait, it's going away at the end of Thursday, right?
I thought that was the plan.
Oh, that is the plan. Oh, you're right. I'm just letting you know it's going to go away. Yeah, it'll be around Thursday. Surprise! I'm trying to kill Wat. I'm just learning. I'm just learning from Chaz. Chaz killed Bob, and I'm like, I'll kill Water. 2 months from Dear Oswin and 300 bits from Storms. This is last breakfast stream. Steven said that coffee isn't allowed to be more than 200 apart from tea. At the start of breakfast stream, January 5th, 2021, Team Tea had 2916, while Team Coffee had 2638. A 278 difference. I spent too much time searching for this. Well, the fact that you spent so much time searching for it might be indicative of the fact that it's relatively true. But yes, there are moments, I guess, when it could be further than 200 apart. Also, there's been times where Team Coffee is like, let's do it, and then they soar above Team Tea, although that never seems to last long. And 5 months from Luigi Fan 219. Thank you all for being here. Enjoy the Nintendo Direct. It is in about 90 minutes. And we will have our reactions out later today on YouTube. How much later? I'm gonna do it. Try to do it fast, but you know we'll see. I'm gonna like edit it. Takes like some time. It's fine.